Bowl Stadium. Hallowed ground. Not just a physical place, but a field where dreams are realized. The emotion of games won long ago still hangs in the air, where greatness is expected, but in the end, only perfection stands alone. The Warriors who enter this arena tonight march to a different drum. A gridiron game to be sure, but unlike any this venerable Coliseum has ever seen. A salute, a moment's breath, and the battle begins. The Phantom Regiment have taken flight this year, but the judges will decide if their show has wings. Carolina Crown are at the post for a race to their best finish ever, hoping to leave their naysayers in their dust. The Santa Clara Vanguard have done this dance before and plan to put the exclamation mark on their season tonight. The cadets believe they have what it takes and are ready to tell their tale to anyone who will listen. Not listening are the Cavaliers. No strangers to victory. The defending champions know how to handle pressure. Flying high all season are 11-time champions, the Blue Devils. On fire since the season began, the Devils' domination may snatch yet another world championship, an even dozen for their trophy case. After months of competition across the country, the long road leads them to this icon of excellence. Once again, a stage to showcase the world's best. Which corps will rise above the rest? This is the Drum Corps International World Championship.
And this first ever championship in Drum Corps Rich, California has drawn quite a crowd. And why not? It's picture-perfect weather in one of America's most storied stadiums. And this is cutting-edge marching music at its very best. From Rose Bowl Stadium in sunny Pasadena, California, this is marching music's Major League. Good evening and welcome to Drum Corps International's 35th Annual World Championship Finals. I'm Steve Rondinero, joined once again by DCI Percussion Hall of Famer Dennis DeLucia. It has been a great season.
Unbelievable season. Thank you very much, Steve. After a summer-long tour and 2 rounds of preliminary competition, the field has been narrowed to 12 finalists who have earned the right to compete here on Drum Corps' biggest stage. But the summer-long rehearsals and travel and competitions, it's all over now. The journey ends tonight. The intensity level is extremely high. These performances will be the yardstick by which their corps are remembered and measured.
And we are going to have this show covered every which way for you, including from field level. Let's go to sideline reporter Jessica Allen.
Thanks, Steve. I'm in the parking lot with the buses. The corps are warming up, and I'm here with Tracy Sakita from the Santa Clara Vanguard. The whole season has come down to just one more show. How do you prepare for tonight?
We've just mentally prepared, and we've done mental run-throughs, and I think we're just hyping on this, the last show of the season.
How special is this opportunity for you to perform finals here in California, your corps' home state?
It's so awesome to be here. It's like back home, family's here. I'm from California, so it's like a big home show.
Best of luck tonight.
It's been no small accomplishment making it to tonight's finals. Our top 6 is extremely strong this year. There's been a fair amount of movement going on here this week within that group. Some of these shows are amazing. This next 6 is pretty darn good too. Those 12 finalist slots are highly coveted. You're among the best of the best. In fact, the Bluecoats had some huge wins early this season, and coming into Pasadena were ranked 4th. But last night's semifinal score puts them in 7th. Carolina Crown's Triple Crown show is a major favorite with fans. It's a show with a strong, easy-to-follow storyline about horses. Santa Clara Vanguard came into finals week ranked 7th, but have caught fire here in their home state this week. They're now seated 5th. Phantom Regiment started slowly, but they're peaking at the right time. Once again, they fill the house with a wall of sound. Unlike some years, we have no undefeated corps coming in here tonight. Any one of our top three could likely take the title. The defending champion Cavaliers have another amazing marching program, and they're not about to give up the gold without a fight. The Cadets have a unique show tied to some controversial on-field narration. Last night they placed just 0.05 of a point behind the Blue Devils. And those top-seeded Blue Devils of Concord, California have a loud and aggressive show capable of lighting up this stadium with its raw, percussive energy. On the field now, the Glassmen of Toledo, Ohio. Dennis, they have a provocative gypsy theme.
You know, they were 10th in semifinals last night, Steve. The color guard plays an interesting role because they must portray gypsies, they must dance, as well as handle the equipment. If there's a weakness based on the semifinal scores, it was in the effectiveness of their music.
The Glassmen of Toledo, Ohio were originally founded in 1961 as the Maumee Sons, a parade corps. Competing later as the Glass City Optimists, the corps took its current name in 1971 to represent Toledo, the glass capital of the world. The Glassmen qualified for the DCI World Championship Finals for the first time in 1993. Their 2007 program, Gitano, explores the mystery, culture, and exoticism of the Spanish gypsies.
Now, watch and listen for the jingles that they've placed inside of their rifles. Very, very unusual and very exposed, by the way. The sound that you're hearing from the percussion, there's this box. See that? That's not just a box. It's actually an Afro-Peruvian instrument.
Highlights from the Glassmen. Each corps' complete show is typically around 11 minutes long, but tonight we're showing you highlights from these corps. And in this case, it's the Glassmen's opening production of Capricho Español.
Boy, that color guard really makes you believe that you're watching a band of gypsies, don't they? I thought there were some brass performance issues tonight, as well as some visual things. And with visual problems, it's sometimes hard to tell whether it's a writing problem or a performance problem. I think here we see examples of both on the left side of the field and then on the right side of the field. It just gets to be a little sloppy in that block, but it ends up very, very well. These transitions are not the most nuanced we'll see tonight.
Well, it's up to the judges to make the distinction, and some of those judges are out on the field watching these cores close up. Others are in the press box. You'll see the green shirts darting in and out of formations. Differentiating between the varying degrees of excellence at this level can be a real challenge. Judges rate the corps' performances and provide constructive feedback on tape for the people who teach these cores. And once the corps finishes, the judge converts those observations to numbers, sends the sheets and the tapes off to the tabulators.
This scoring system requires 9 judges broken down into 3 categories. 2 general effect judges evaluate the big picture from the press box. 3 visual judges evaluate performance from field level, ensemble, and color guard from the press box, but their scores are divided by 2. Brass and percussion performance are judged from field level, music ensemble from the press box. Their scores are also divided by 2. At championships, there is a second percussion judge, and his score is blended into the rest.
And we have a score in for the Glassmen, 85.75. That's down by more than a point from the semis. Outside the stadium, tuning up and limbering up are part of the pre-show ritual. This musical sport is very physical, but it's also mental and emotional. This is when you turn those butterflies into positive energy. Keep in mind, these young performers are anywhere from 16 to 21 years old. Broadcast of the 2007 Drum Corps International World Championship is brought to you by NAMM, the International Music Products Association. Believe in music.
To be the best, it takes discipline. It takes teamwork. It takes determination. It also takes your support. To find out how you can keep music education strong in your schools, visit supportmusic.com.
Just moments ago outside Rose Bowl Stadium.
This is what we've worked for all season long. Let's get our heads clear and get our heads where we need to be to actually rock that Rose Bowl strong. You love performing, this is the chance of a lifetime. Let's take it, grab it, and unleash in that stadium tonight. You got it, guys? Yes!
Every corps has a pre-show ritual. The Boston Crusaders now completed. They're ready to take this Rose Bowl field.
Well, the color guard plays the role of the artist here very well, using easels and picture frames and unusual rifle props and flags. They were 12th in brass in semifinals. That seems to be the weakness right now.
The Boston Crusaders began in 1940 as the most precious blood crusaders. Throughout the 50s and 60s, the Corps was an icon of traditional drum corps success and innovation. As one of the oldest, most storied corps in history, the Crusaders today have a unique emotional connection with their audience. With such a colorful past, the Boston Crusaders bring art to life with their 2007 program, A Picasso Suite.
Crusaders. A percussive finish, and boy, a lot of energy out there.
That's a real good performance from Boston, although it was a little bit uneasy right at the beginning between brass and percussion. That might have been caused by drumline staging. But what I really want to talk about is the color guard and how creative and effective they are in bringing the storyline forward to the audience. The use of the unusual equipment, the picture frames, etc., supports the storyline, but at times it results in a very cluttered look. Judges will take note of this.
Yeah, there is an awful lot happening out there, to be sure. We do have a score in for the Boston Crusaders, and they come into the finals here with an 89.1. 89.1 for Boston, so checking out the Yamaha leaderboard, the Crusaders are now on top by a healthy 3-point margin. But look, the Glassmen have slipped a notch, now trailing the Colts. And who are the Colts in spirit from JSU? Glad you asked. They performed earlier. Here are some highlights. Some 30,000 people are in this Rose Bowl crowd tonight. You never know who's watching or what brought them to the stadium or what they'll take from the show. In fact, last week's DCI West show attracted a well-known Hall of Famer from another sport.
The kids are getting old enough now where they're interested in all kinds of music, and we thought it'd be a great event, and so we came by not knowing exactly what it was going to be like. And it's theater, it's music, it's choreography to the max. I've enjoyed watching the different groups all night. You can see the discipline everybody has. There's it's like that collective sense of team that I thought football's the ultimate team game because of the numbers. Just so many people, 50 guys, 11 on a field. Everyone's kind of has a piece of the puzzle. Nobody owns the puzzle. And even that's expanded upon here by the drum corps and the competition is because there's so many more. As you can see the drama of everyone trying to do their job perfectly, but working together because no one, if I do my job perfectly, I'm not champion, we're champions. There's no better feeling I ever had than when we went to the locker room after we won our Super Bowl and looked around each other before the media came in or anyone else. It was just us, and we'd accomplished it together. And I think that's probably what the champion will feel like for that rare time. They're champions and they did it together.
Back here at Rose Bowl Stadium.
I don't think it's ever going to get much better than this. You're about to go down the tunnel into the Rose Bowl. I love you, Blue Knights!
As the Denver Blue Knights get set to go, it's time for some inside drum corps. Earlier in the week, Dennis had a chance to sit down here in Pasadena with the directors who run our medal contenders, finding out what makes them tick, beginning with the defending champion Cavaliers.
What goals did you set for the Corps before the season began?
The goals we set for the Corps is the same goal every year. We want to be better than we were last year. This year that probably became a little more challenging because we had a large graduation, our largest graduation. Almost 50 members graduated last year. And so along with students that aren't able to come back, we probably are a little over 60, close to 70 new members in the Drum Corps. It's just, you know, they step in and they step on a train that's going 90 miles an hour. You know, it doesn't take long, and within a couple weeks, they're in the best performing ensemble they've ever been in, and we're nowhere near where we want to be.
Some people describe the work of your visual designer, Michael Gaines, as being geometry in motion. How do you respond to that?
I would not disagree with that. He and I spent a day sitting in this stadium and just looking and how you could sit on the 50-yard line at the top and not turn your head and see both end zones. So I think folks are going to be really pleased with what they may see here that they may not have seen in other places because the venues were so close to the front. This one is pulled back, and we've designed our entire show, not just the visual, but the music too, to take advantage of that fact.
Boy, Jeff is right about that. It is a long, gradual slope down to the field from the stands, but the sound really does project quite well here. The sight lines are clean, and the Blue Knights are just about ready to go.
Now, they were 8th or 9th in every single caption in semifinals, but listen to how well their musical ensemble handles this very demanding program.
First established as a parade corps in 1958, Denver's Blue Knights have grown to be a perennial DCI finalist. Always competitive, the Blue Knights never failed to present a challenging show. The Corps is known for its dark sound and unique approach to movement. Their 2007 program, Dark Dances, features the music of Russian composer Dmitri Shostakovich.
gorgeous flags in all of drum corps. Look at the intensity on those faces.
That's a remarkable performance, especially considering all the movement they're expected to do while they're playing.
Arnold, the Blue Knights.
Let's listen into what the brass judge on the field had to say during their performance.
What great musical intensity there, guys, by the trumpets. Yeah, trumpets, double tongue handled nicely. Great display of technique.
I agree with that. This is the point in tonight's lineup at which the quality of sound becomes richer, fuller, a higher level of achievement. It only gets better from here.
And we have a score in for the Blue Knights. Our first quarter break 90, paced by a good music score. That puts them squarely atop the Yamaha leaderboard by more than a full point over the Crusaders. The tension levels are climbing here tonight along with the scores. While a winning score is a measure of competitive success, Blue Devils director Dave Gibbs told Dennis earlier that that's only part of the equation.
Before the season begins, what goals do you set for the Corps?
Well, they're no different. You know, we don't try to change a goal for each year. Our goal, as always has been, is first and foremost to give the kids an incredible life-changing, maturing experience. You see the lives change. In 10 years, they come back to you and you sit in the office and they tell you they would not be the person they are without this experience of drum corps. And that sounds cliche, but I've had enough people roll into my office over the past, how many years I've been doing this, that it is true.
So having said that, is this a successful year for you?
It really has been special. I can't imagine. This has been my most favorite year ever, and I'm soaking every minute, including my drive down to my car to my first World Championships driving ever. I've never could ever be able to drive to World Championships, so I'm soaking in every single second of this.
Your mission, should you decide to accept it, is to stay tuned for the Blue Coats. They're coming up next.
Life isn't about the destination. It's about the journey. It's learning who you are, where you fit in, how to work with others. It's about striving for excellence and realizing that you can achieve it. Support your child's journey. Support music.
This is the city, Los Angeles, California. But we're just up the road in beautiful Pasadena at the Rose Bowl.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field from Canton, Ohio, the Blue Coats.
And the fans are bluing for the Canton, Ohio Blue Coats. Dennis, they've gone criminal on us.
Well, that's the role they're playing, Steve, but musically they are squeaky clean, one of my favorite ensembles this year, especially the percussion. I love them because of their musicality.
The Blue Coats of Canton, Ohio made their competitive debut in 1974, formed as a program of the Canton Police Boys Club. Coming off a fourth-place finish in 2006, the Corps' best ever, the Blue Coats' 2007 show borrows from their law enforcement history. Their program, Criminal, is a classic story of cops and robbers. The Blue Coats suspect this is their year to run away with a medal.
The Bluecoats. Oh, but the case is empty. What happened to the loot? There it goes. Hey, look at that. Stealing a moment from the Corps' pass, there goes an old blue coat uniform, a surprise capper for tonight's caper.
Where is she going? Boy, the top 7, Steve, is just so competitive this year. Just a month ago, Blue Coats beat both Blue Devils and Cavaliers in a show. Tonight, they're seeded 7th. A very, very good performance by the brass line, although I thought it was a little flat. Percussion, wonderful. Exactly what I would have expected.
And here in our replay, you can see the job the color guard does carrying out the visual theme, recreating the laser beams reminiscent of the movie Entrapment. This has been an intriguing ride for Blue Coat veterans.
In recent years, your Corps has risen to an elite status. What's it been like riding that competitive roller coaster, especially this year?
Well, it's been interesting because I started in '03 and it was kind of like the beginning. And we've just gotten better and better every year. And especially this year, we had 46 vets in the horn line out of 64. And people just come back, and it's a really big family. And it's the best horn line in the world. It's amazing.
They did their job tonight, pulling a fairly amazing score, 94.05. That's a big jump on our Yamaha leaderboard. The Blue Coats breaking the 94 mark, putting them into elite territory. You know, that sets a mighty high yardstick for the 6 corps still to come. Among those corps is one that just missed winning last night's semifinals by the thinnest of margins, the Cadets, who have one of the most controversial shows of the year.
George, for people who know you, it seems that the Cadets show this year is a very personal statement.
Well, the idea came last year when we were booed rather loudly at times for our choices. They sit so far away, we have uniforms and gladiator helmets on, because if they really knew there were kids there, they would never boo. So when I sat down afterwards, I'm like, there's got to be a way, maybe there's a show out there that we could actually communicate to people that there are kids underneath these uniforms, and they have feelings and they have lives, and the audience reaction is critical to them.
So why do you think that the use of narration is so controversial?
You would have to ask the people that have made it controversial.
But why do you think?
I think it's because they love the activity the way it is and the way it was, and their memories and brass and percussion and volume and voice just confuses things. It's another element that perhaps takes us down a road where no one's quite sure where that will be. But I've been around long enough to know that those roads lead usually to good things.
This is your 25th anniversary as director of the Cadets. What are the rewards for you personally?
Standing on the field, I always go back, I think standing on the field watching the kids take in the acknowledgement of the fans and the tears in their eyes, especially when they get to the back part of the season. There's nothing I've experienced in my life like that. And that's why I come back.
And we'll come back to the Rose Bowl in just a moment.
Experience the thrill of live drum and bugle corps. From Orlando to Seattle, San Diego to Boston, there's a Drum Corps International event just around the corner. There are more than 140 drum corps competitions throughout the United States and Canada next summer. Experience the power and passion of modern drum and bugle corps. There's nothing else like it in the world.
crowd, the Marines.
Welcome back. As we celebrate 35 years of Drum Corps International, the activity itself has been around for much longer. There are people who have met their spouses while they marched. Sons and daughters have marched in the same corps as their parents. For one corps and one family, this year is extra special.
Drumline, come on through. Come on. You're good right there, Andrew. Nathan, bring him down. Here we go. Shako's on. He'll tell us when to pull. All right, we're out, BDB. Here we go. Our show starts now.
My name's Rick Odello, and for the past 50 years, I've been a Blue Devil.
Not many people know about the Odello family, I don't think.
Since 1957, there's always been an Odello involved in this activity.
Well, I was really little when I marched the Martinettes, and the Martins wanted to retire. I remember all these high school kids showed up in my parents' living room and asked them to pick it up and continue the organization.
And me and Dad felt sorry for our daughter that wanted to march, so we took them over and formed the Blue Devils.
Annette in 1957 was the baton twirler, and I was there just because my family was there, and they put me in the position of being the banner carrier.
And then Tony, a little later, played drums, so they all three got involved.
I met my wife in the Blue Devils, and she ended up being the color guard captain, and I was the center snare for a number of years, and it was like a marriage made in Drum Corps heaven. We went on all the tours together, we sat on the buses together. We've been married for 30 years now, and of course have had 4 sons, and that are all Blue Devil members.
I've actually marched with all my brothers 1993 to 95. All my brothers were in the Sea Corps with me.
There was never a question that if they were going to be in a drum corps that it would be Blue Devils that they were going to be involved in.
Both my parents marched. All my aunts and uncles marched. You couldn't march anywhere else. It's just a family tradition, a family legacy. The Odello family bleeds blue.
It's a really hard thing to do.
I've been the section leader here for 4 years, and I'm kind of a smart aleck. Like, I like to joke around with my section a lot, but with my brother, I kind of have to approach him a little differently.
Well, of course, on the field, he's always on my back and always calling me out.
I try to treat him the same, but, you know, he's got a lot of talent, and he's my little brother, and he's going to be better than I ever was, so I kind of like to push him, make sure he's not making any mistakes.
I think without him, I wouldn't be where I am today. I mean, he's always watching me, and he wants me to turn out, like, as good as him, if not better.
The 70s were a great era for the Blue Devil organization. Of course, we added the horn line in 1970, but it was no greater year for me than 1976 of winning our first DCI World Championship. Being the best in the world at something, at anything, is something that no one can ever take away from you. You're going to have that the rest of your life. Your heart's going to beat just a little bit slower the rest of your life being that world champion.
That was the best experience of my life, hands down. Winning that DCI World Championship, I mean, just the feeling you get when they announce your name, just feels so good because you work for months or a year, you know, and it's 11.5 minutes towards that one goal.
And seeing them on the field, the 3 of them, winning a world championship, just as it is hard to describe the activity itself, I can't express into words the feelings and the emotions that you see in continuing that tradition, and how proud you are.
I feel really grateful to be able to be a part of the 50th anniversary corps.
Watching my own sons perform on the field and watching especially my 17-year-old, the effort he's putting out in there to fit in and give it 150% is it's just a gift to experience that and watch that in your own son.
My grandfather is my hero. Yeah, I love him, and I love both my grandparents, and they've done so much. It was just for kids, you know, and it was for their kids, it was for neighborhood kids, and that's how the Blue Devils all started.
I'm extremely proud of the vision that they maybe didn't even know they had, but just being good people and volunteering and stepping up, they created this organization that would not be in existence today without their foresight.
And, of course, the Odellos are here in the stands tonight to watch Ricky and Andrew perform with the top-seeded Blue Devils.
I've known Rick for 30 years. I had to compete against him. He really understates the impact that he and his drumlines had on the entire drum corps movement in the 70s.
When we come back, some entertaining horsing around with the Carolina Crown. A real crowd favorite, and for very good reason.
Carolina Crown!
Welcome back to the Drum Corps International World Championship.
Corps 10, hunt! Perform like champions. Right away. 1, 2, ready, move!
The one thing I would wish that people would look at is the integration that we do with our color guard, the emotional aspect that we do at times with that, and then the clarity of our music. We put the show together for the audience, and to get that emotional highs and lows that are within that, it should be about emotional content and emotional appropriateness at times. What's appropriate doesn't always mean that it has to be loud. It can whisper.
And the Crown has connected emotionally with audiences across the country this season, perhaps like no other corps. Yeah, as a brass guy, I'm in love with this horn line, but the color guard has consistently been among the best.
This is an absolutely brilliant program, Steve, that delivers its stated theme. Color guard has been first or second all season. Magnificent brass sound accompanied by very tasty percussion. They're in 6th right now, but this is my favorite show of the year.
Carolina Crown of Fort Mill, South Carolina is one of the new kids on the block. Fielding their first corps in 1990, Crown vaulted into DCI's elite top 12 for the first time in 1995. They have landed in the top 10 the past 4 years running. Their 2007 program, Triple Crown, tells the story of wild horses trained to race. For Carolina Crown, it's a sprint to the finish.
What did you think when they told you your show was going to be about horses?
At first we were a little skeptical, but after we heard the whole plot line, we knew it was going to be comedic and enjoyable and just exciting to watch, and so we loved it.
Your color guard plays a unique role in that it carries out the storyline of the show. What was it like performing in such a character-driven show?
It's wonderful. We have every little detail from inside our work to how we look. The details are amazing, and it's wonderful to become that and perform that for people.
And here's Crown's score, 94.15. Wow. Looking at our Yamaha leaderboard, Carolina Crown has just a 1/10 of a point edge over the Bluecoats.
I would have scored it differently, especially in general effect. That program needs more points there.
You've done all the hard work.
Backstage now, the Santa Clara Vanguard. These guys have been on a tear here in Pasadena this week. Can they maintain the momentum in finals here tonight?
Share it one last
We'll
time.
find out next.
Do what you know. And just enjoy that crowd. Enjoy the performance. Enjoy the moment. That is the 2007 Santa Clara Vanguard. Congratulations on what you've done.
A strong beginning to our 2007 Drum Corps International World Championships. We've seen 5 of the finest drum corps in the world so far tonight, but the best are yet to come, one of whom will be crowned our champion.
Well, it's the cream of the crop, and if you think about it, the next 5 corps have won 34 out of the 38 national championship titles awarded by Drum Corps International.
It has been an intensely competitive season. One of these top 3 corps will likely take it all.
Well, only 6/10 separated 1-3 in semifinals last night. Blue Devils, Cadets, Cavaliers. Can't get too much closer than that, can it?
Time for our next corps tonight, the surging Santa Clara Vanguard.
Founded in 1967, the Santa Clara Vanguard are celebrating their 40th anniversary. The Vanguard roared out of Santa Clara, California to win their first DCI crown in 1973. They are 6-time world champions and the only corps to qualify for every DCI World Championship finals. Never puzzled by how to piece together a powerful program, the Vanguard have found the solution with their show, Eureka.
What a nice blend here of handbells and chimes, wind chimes, and mallet percussion instruments. Pay attention to this sterling visual program. This is a great example of superior design. Transitions and forms, rock solid.
Eureka! I think they've got it. Right down to the flash of a beep and the cymbal line.
Talk about hometown energy and crowd response. They were on fire tonight. That's the best I've seen them all year.
They've kept the momentum going, you know, but even at this level, there are some performance issues that the judges are looking for.
Now, just watch some timing issues in the flag line. The judges certainly will.
Relatively minor, but we're in search of perfection at this level. Something else we want to show you. Check this out. This is kind of fun. High-speed geometry in motion. We've sped up the drill moves here, but as you watch these visual pictures evolve, bear in mind there are musical responsibilities as well.
The designer has a responsibility to keep all of the musicians in the right place all the time. The brass instruments, the percussion instruments, the juxtaposition of brass to percussion. Not easy.
And they've got to keep it together tempo-wise.
Absolutely.
And we've got a score in for Santa Clara, 94.175. Oh, my. Look at this cluster now. Go to the Yamaha leaderboard. The Vanguard just 25 thousandths of a point ahead of Carolina Crown.
They're up a little bit in visual effect, down a little bit in music effect.
When we come back, that moving wall of sound called the Phantom Regiment. This show is for the birds, and it'll take flight momentarily. Phantom Regiment is up next here at Rose Bowl Stadium.
What you deliver, especially in these rehearsals in the last few days, that's what we want out there. Relax, have fun. The Rose Bowl. When are you going to be back here? 1, 2, 3, shoot! All right, let's go.
A bit understated backstage. However, this corps is anything but understated on the field.
Earlier, I asked Phantom Regiment Director Rick Valenzuela if it's all about the competition.
It is competitive. It's a competitive activity, without a doubt. So yeah, if we end up winning, great. But you know, there's other things about it that you know, there's 9 guys in green, but there's 20,000 other people watching. You know, so we're shooting for those 20,000 people. You know, and of course there's similar goals. There's similar goals. If we get 20,000 people standing up, I'm pretty sure we're doing the right thing.
Still 9 judges in green, but there's nearly 30,000 people in the stands here tonight.
This is Firebird on the Fly, Steve. Listen for the brilliant use of percussive colors and their wonderful musical phrasing.
Earlier tonight, we had color guard members portraying horses. With Phantom, they're birds, role-playing a show that's all about flight.
Originally founded as the Rockford Rangers in 1956 by a VFW post in Rockford, Illinois, the Phantom Regiment remains Drum Corps' classical music identity. World champions in 1996, they have won the silver medal 6 times, including last year. This year, they hope to fly higher. Their 2007 program is entitled On Air.
of sound. They did their job for the judges and the fans tonight. We promised you a big sound and some bodacious percussion. Dennis Phantom has delivered big time.
Ladies and gentlemen,
They're only fourth? I mean, I can't wait to see the rest, I'll tell you. Second in brass last night, second in percussion. They should defend their percussion title tonight.
Now, this is the end of their show, when you should be running out of gas. Instead, they're just running while putting out a huge horn sound, playing some mean drum licks, and working the flags and rifles for all their work. These are truly musical athletes.
And they're still running, still playing full volume. Great quality of sound. I'm not sure that people appreciate how very difficult this is.
There really is a lot of physical conditioning involved.
Do not try this at home.
And we have Phantom's score now. Here we go again, another 94. 94.85. Look at that cluster on the Yamaha leaderboard.
8/10 separating four wonderful cores.
It's getting mighty interesting as the night goes on. Our top three are still ahead. Who will go home with the gold? The defending champs are up next. The Cavaliers with the music of Billy Joel. Different corps have different backstage rituals. The Cavaliers have a corps song that's been part of theirs for decades.
We are the Cavaliers. There is no corps we fear. We march along and sing this song, for we know that we never will march along the Cavaliers. As we march through the years, we march along and sing this song, for we are the Cavaliers. Hey!
Line up. Let's go do our job.
2, 3, 4!
The defending champs announcing their presence as they take the field here in Pasadena tonight. They'll be playing the music of Billy Joel while painting some interesting visual pictures on that field.
They are the defending champs. They've won 5 titles since 2000. They're third in semifinals, but I would never count the Cavaliers out. Great design and meticulous preparation will keep them in the hunt tonight.
The Cavaliers from Rosemont, Illinois began in Chicago as Boy Scout Troop 111 in 1948. They are one of only 2 all-male drum corps in existence. The Green Machine is a dominant force in DCI. The year 2000 ushered in the Cavaliers Millennium as they captured the World Championship in 5 of the last 7 years. With that kind of reputation, their program of Billy Joel songs entitled "And So It Goes" shows how they deal with the pressure.
certainly some pressure being the defending champs. The Cavaliers, with a big visual picture, is the name of the game.
You know, they have a lot of new members in the drum corps this year. This is a really, really good program. A valiant effort. Steve, I just don't think it's enough to win their 8th title.
Well, so much of what the Cavaliers do is driven by the color guard. So here in our replay, let's watch as the entire unit is on the same equipment, spinning rifles, doing demanding unison work. It's been a Cavalier hallmark.
Well, today, judges have an expectation for guard members that they be able to march and dance and role play and handle equipment. The Cavalier color guard is so confident. I think that's what sets them apart. They just have terrific stage presence. They just know how to perform. First in both quarters and semis.
As well as the rest of the corps performs, this color guard just demands your attention. Let's get the drum major's perspective now.
You're the defending champion. The competition is so close this year. How do you think they did tonight?
They did a great job. They really could not have done any better than what they did tonight. And I think the crowd loved it. I know I loved it. And I'm pretty sure they had a good time. So that's all that matters.
What do you do next, especially while the cadets and the Blue Devils are performing?
Right now, they're probably almost out of the tunnel. And Jeff's talking to them. And
sure, it's a big party.
Yeah, it's big. And then we're just going to cry. And yeah, we're just going to cry and laugh. And then when it's all said and done, we're going to sing. And that's really it.
As the Cavaliers leave the stadium, we have a score, 96.35. Very high visual score there as well. And looking at the leaderboard, that's enough to break them away from that pack at 94, but there's certainly room above them.
I'm not sure they should have pulled away like that.
Now, there is a lot of room at the top, and we are getting ready for that face-off. The controversial kaleidoscopic cadets are next. They're our number 2 seed. This show moves at high speed, and they'll use every yard line and hash mark on that Rose Bowl field to make it happen. Welcome back to the Rose Bowl, where it's the cadets' time in the spotlight.
All right, this is the one you all dreamed about. Here you are. There's 30,000 people in there, okay? But regardless of what they think about your artistic choices or our artistic choices, we can't deny performance. They can't deny young people to go out and perform a show at breakneck speed at a level of quality that they've never seen before. Just go out there and do what you've been doing every day, just to the next level. Leave nothing. Don't come up for a breath. Don't look around. Stay focused. I wish you the best. It's going to be a great, great show to a great, great year. All right, we're moving. Here we go. Let's go.
Test 1, 2.
That little test you just heard illustrates the controversy surrounding the show in a nutshell. Lots of amplified on-field narration by the members that has ruffled many fans.
This is a very personal statement about what the drum corps experience means to the participants from a great drum corps champion.
The cadets were founded in Garfield, New Jersey as the Holy Name Fife Drum and Bugle Corps in 1934. Their dynasty of innovation began in 1983 with DCI's first three-peat, and the Corps boasts a remarkable 9 World Championship titles. This year, the cadets are speaking their minds with their program, This I Believe. The judges and fans seem to be listening.
I believe in community. Yes, I see we're all different, but together, what we can accomplish is amazing.
I believe in hard work. We can achieve great things with practice and more practice. I believe in choice. No matter what the world brings, this is my life and I get to choose.
We believe in progress, and we will continue to work towards what we say is possible.
We believe in the power of community.
Practice.
Choice. Progress.
We believe in now.
excellent timing. When we work hard together, as a team, we can do something like this.
In a community, success of the whole depends on the parts.
We begin with the harmony provided by the low brass.
The alto voice provides counterpoint to the whole.
And finally, the sopranos introduce the melody. I believe in community. I believe in hard work. I believe in choice. This I believe.
Wow, whether you like the narration or not, there was some phenomenal drum corps going on there.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, under the direction
What a great
of
performance.
Hopkins,
They made a strong statement, not only with their words, but with their music and their movement as well. I think they've separated themselves from the pack tonight. We might have just seen our new champion.
Well, the cadets have long maintained that music is motion, and nobody does it quite like they do. Let's replay their final segment. Now, bear in mind they've been giving it all they've got, but have to pull out the stops for one final minute. High velocity motion, counter motion, playing, driving forward, pushing, pushing, pushing. One misstep at this speed means disaster.
And look at that color guard. Bright colors, perfectly staged so that the visual becomes as big as the music. Equipment work well executed. This is an excellent performance.
And the cadets finish you with style. You gotta believe they believe. Jessica's with one of the narrators.
Your show just brought the crowd to their feet in one of the most historical stadiums in the country. Was this everything you dreamt it would be?
Oh yes, of course, of course. I love performing. Performance is what I want to do with my life, and this is the epitome of performance.
The narrative in the show actually talks about the drum corps experience and how it's changed your life. Is this true for you?
Yes, definitely. It's definitely, this is my 5th year in drum corps, and it has definitely changed my life for the good, for the good.
Great job out there.
Oh, thank you very much.
The Blue Devils will have to be on their game to top that cadet show. But if any corps has a game night reputation, it's the Blue Devils. The Concord crew, at home in California, is next. The Blue Devils keeping it loose outside the Rose Bowl.
I am so proud of you guys. And tonight's a celebration of what you have accomplished. You got it. This is 50 years of being proud about the Blue. This is 50 years of excellence. This is 11 world championships. This is the most renowned drum corps brand in the world. And you guys are going to go out there and you're going to rock it, you're going to rattle it, you're going to shake it, you're going to knock it, you're going to snap it, you're going to catch it, you're going to do everything possible, and you're going to go out there and light it up tonight.
That game faces on. They have their marching orders, and this corps knows how to carry them out. In fact, the Blue Devils tend to think that championship trophy belongs to them. And, well, hey, it has 11 times. But this 2007 corps is particularly aggressive.
Well, sure, they're aggressive and confident, and they should be. They won semifinals, and they're home for the first time ever. They just have so much presence. They move so well. They glide across the field.
Actually, they seem to command that field.
Celebrating their 50th anniversary, the Blue Devils of Concord, California, were originally founded as a small drum and bell corps, known for their jazz musical influences. The Blue Devils have finished in the top 5 for the last 31 years. The corps lays claim to an unmatched 11 DCI World Championships. Hoping to soar to another championship, their program for 2007 is entitled Winged Victory.
That was raw energy. Unbridled raw energy.
Oh, my. I don't know if their power and energy can come across on television, but inside this Rose Bowl, they were just overwhelming. No flaws anywhere. Is it enough, Steve, to win?
I think so. There's a lot to be said for that intangible home field advantage, even in drum corps. Now, this is the closest thing we have to a drumline throwdown. Heck, it even impressed Judge Alan Christensen as he stands in front of that drum block. Listen in.
Body work adding so much demand to control. Doesn't faze them, though.
And clean as a whistle, too. These body moves add a dimension not often seen in drum corps drumming. It's much harder to move around like this and play demanding material.
And they do it with a flourish. As the Blue Devils leave the stadium, you have to wonder if they're on the cusp of another title. This is a proud time for the Odello family, no matter how it turns out.
Your grandparents started the Blue Devils 50 years ago. You're performing in California, your family's in the stands, your brother's by your side. What was it like out there?
It was absolutely amazing. Impossible to describe, you know? Everything this corps means to myself and my family, and aging out with the performance we just threw down, it's just surreal. This crowd is just amazing. It's an unbelievable feeling, best feeling in my life.
Do you think your grandparents would be proud of that performance tonight?
Absolutely. I mean, there was nothing better than what we just did right now. I mean, to march next to my brother with his age out year, my first year in the Blue Devils, it's a great feeling. And I hope to carry on what he's accomplished over the past 5 years.
I know they're proud of everything the Blue Devils have become, and that performance right there was the Blue Devils at our finest. So I'm sure that they'd be very proud of us right now.
Was it enough to win? Who will be crowned the 2007 Drum Corps International World Champion? We'll find out in just a broadcast of the 2007 Drum Corps International World Championship is brought to you by NAM, the International Music Products Association. Believe in music. The Corps are all back on the field here at the Rose Bowl. We've worked our way through the scores to our final three medalists. Let's take it down to field announcer Brant Crocker.
Receiving the bronze medal tonight with a score of 96.35. 96.35, the Cavaliers.
We said earlier when we got that Cavaliers score there was room at the top. And indeed there is.
Receiving the silver medal with a score of 97.025. 97.025. The Cadets.
Well, the Cadets have made one heck of a run.
That's a very high score in general effect, but there is room on top in both visual and music.
So the Blue Devils have done it. The California crowd is loving it.
And the only question now, by how much did they win?
Receiving the gold medal, the 2007 Drum Corps International World Champion with a score of 98.0, the Blue Devils.
And even 98. They didn't leave much doubt, did they?
No doubt at all there. Congratulations to the Blue Devils. Tied for first with the Cadets in general effect, but first place in visual, in brass, and in percussion alone by almost 7/10.
Well, there's a party in blue on the field and in the stands.
So here are the final results of the 2007 Drum Corps International World Championship. Each of these corps has achieved the pinnacle of the drum corps activity simply by making finals. The finale is going on. It's a celebration of an entire year's worth of work by these great performers. Let's go to Steve, who's with the director of the world champion Blue Devils.
50th anniversary, first time for championships in California. How's it feel to win on the home turf?
Yeah, I can't express the words. It's awesome. What a year. 50 years, the California crowd. We've never had this kind of experience before in our lives because we've always been Midwest and East. So these guys are amazing. Look at, I don't know how many people are here, but wow, it's just, I can't I'm just speechless. And I don't get speechless very much, so.
This was a very aggressive drum corps. They came out, and you could tell when they took that field they meant business.
Yeah, they were amazing. As I told them before they went on the field, they actually took me on the ride. I didn't take them on the ride. And they dragged us, the staff, the organization, the alumni, and everybody with them, and they did more than I ever thought they could do. And the show was aggressive, and they were for sure up for the challenge tonight, and they had a lot of great drum corps that came before them, and so they knew they had a challenge, and they rose to the occasion.
Happy 50th to the Devils, and California's been good to you.
Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You've worked so hard this summer. How does it feel to be the 2007 Drum Corps International Champion?
It's amazing. I can't explain how much excitement and how proud I am of the Blue Devils right now.
What do you think put your corps over the top tonight?
Heart and passion and desire. We all fought for it, and it helped that it was in California with the 50 years of history behind us.
Well, I would have to say our first trip to California for these Drum Corps International World Championships was a rip-roaring success. Nearly 30,000 people packed the concert side of the Rose Bowl, Dennis, and they were treated to some phenomenal performances from these young people.
It was just amazing, Steve. First of all, congratulations to the Blue Devils and the whole organization. Their 12th Drum Corps International Championship. Just an amazing performance in all captions. Secondly, congratulations to all the young people who participate in Drum Corps. It was an amazing week of entertainment and hard work, and the rewards were very visible for 3 nights. Thirdly, this was an amazing audience in their knowledge and their responsiveness to all styles and all corps.
They were into it big time.
All 3 nights.
And you have to know the staffs of these corps are already thinking ahead to the 2008 DCI Championships, which will be held in Indianapolis.
Yeah, they probably started that in July on a bus trip somewhere. You're absolutely right.
They probably did. Well, for Dennis DeLucia, I'm Steve Rondinero, and for the rest of our DCI broadcast team, we thank you for joining us for these Drum Corps International World Championships from the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. Presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.